one of the exercises I used to do is before we start actually drawing, I would warm up. And I'd warm up with making ellipses, circles. So I would have a whole page just with circles. And then I'll make them into cylinders. I generally like to, when I'm sketching, I'll generally sometimes hold my pencil like this if I'm getting for basic shapes. And if I want detail, then I'll flip it around like this to get in for tight detail. But this helps you warm up. And by drawing this way, if you take a look, I'm using my whole arm and shoulder. I'm not just using my hand. You want to be free, be loose, just don't be so tight in the drawing. You can get tight later when you want to do details and you're finishing up your character. And then what I'd also do is I'd do squares. And kind of like we were talking about, I'd make perspective squares, rectangles. And that's just to get you moving, just to get your arm moving. I had a meeting the other day and I did some caricatures of some of the guys in the meeting. So that's one thing you could do in this class. If you're not interested in what we're focusing on at the moment, pick a character. We're looking at each other for about an hour. Thanks, Nathaniel. Just a lot of practice, a lot of work. I don't usually show them to the people afterward because a lot of people go, well, my nose isn't that big. Well, it's a caricature, right? You know, it's supposed to be kind of fun. I don't know if you could see the details on some of these. So we covered the 7 elements of art. If you can remember them, there were line, shade, form, color, texture, value, and shape. So we covered all the basics. So we're kind of ahead of the program right now. So we could do a couple of things. We could do a free-for-all where we can all do our own projects, or we can do a simple character design. We can talk about the basics of animation. Whatever you guys want to do. Anybody have a suggestion, anything interested? If you need help with a character that you're working on? If not, then we could do some simple basic character drawings. Oh, good for you. You care to share? Let's take a look what you're working on. If you have any questions or challenges.
Okay.
Hey.
Hello. This is just my character. I'm gonna work on coloring, but I haven't figured out the complete design yet.
Okay, so this character, is this a brand new character?
Yeah.
That's very nice. Are you gonna so is she gonna be tall, short? How is she gonna because we're seeing the top part of her body. Are you gonna finish the whole body?
Yeah, I just was doodling it earlier, but
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's a good start. It's a very good start.
Thank you.
Well, if you have any questions specifically about what you're working on, feel free to let me know or ask me. Once again, though, when we talked about character, we talked about shape. Shape is one of the basics of character. So, yeah, very nice, Evie, very nice. So shapes. So Evie's character kind of looked like it had this kind of body shape. Now your character can have anything you want. You want it to be some big guy with a big chest, muscular. You want it to be a guy that's kind of like a little bit on the overweight side. Because like,
Darrell, Nathaniel
Yeah.
raised his hand.
Go ahead, Nathaniel. What'd you have, bro? What'd you need? What's your question?
So, like you said, I think we should probably do caricatures because of what you drew, and it looked pretty cool. So I would like to learn a little bit.
Okay. So anybody everyone sound good? We could do caricatures? Okay, perfect. Okay, so you guys can pick someone on your screen or pick me here. Use me as your source. So that way, oh, George, see, George got Grogu up on there. So you could use Grogu if you want to. But you could use me. So take a look at me. So is my head shaped like that? Is it shaped like that? Is it shaped like that? You make the call. So you start out with the basic shape of the person's head. Some people, if you take a look at some characters and TV personalities, some people have faces from a profile where they have a big neck or sometimes like the other one, they have really tall, skinny heads. Or to me, I think personally, I'm more kind of like that. Could even, if you want to simplify it beyond that, you could even get away with if you want to make it more simple, you can even get away with that. So go ahead and start putting in the basic shape of what you think would best be for you. No, you're welcome. So once again, it all starts with basic shapes. And then you take a look. Okay, well, exaggerate one thing on the person's features. What is it about the person that stands out the most to you? Could be their nose, it can be their eyes, it can be their mouth, their hair. Pick one thing that stands out, because if you exaggerate everything, then the character becomes too much, so much that sometimes it's unrecognizable. So I would draw a nose. And like I said, pick one thing that, that you feel and then so look at your proportions and the spacing of the elements of the caricature. Now your drawing doesn't have to look like mine. Remember what I told you, like these are your drawings. This is your art, your interpretation. Friends of mine say I have big cheeks. So that's what I'm going to and put on mine. Tater the other day did a good caricature that he shared with us. Take your time, no rush. So when you're doing these Zoom meetings, it's easy to do caricatures. Now, depending on how well you know the person, you may or may not want to share it with them. I shared one of the characters with someone from the class, the workshop the other day, and they're no longer talking to me. Now, if you want to volunteer to have a caricature done of you, let us know, and everyone can do a drawing of you. But on that note, you cannot get upset about what you get back if you don't like what people are drawing. That's just the nature of caricatures. So you could do a caricature of your cat, your dog. See, that's a spirit. You know, you got to just say, hey, why not? But you got your family at home, you got your pets. I do a caricature of my dog all the time. If you have pets, that's we could do Baby Yoda after this. Cool, very cool. It seems like everyone's in the good spirits to have caricatures done. Why not? It gets us practicing. Good job, George and Victoria. So I'll give you, how you guys doing with the caricatures? You guys doing okay?
I like the show.
All right, go ahead, George. Nathaniel.
This is you.
I love it. Man, good job.
This is actually the first caricature I made that actually looks good.
Hey, it looks good. Don't knock yourself down. That's how we learn. That's how we practice. My first caricature, if I was charging someone money, I'd have to pay them. My first caricature didn't look anything like them. But that's the whole thing. It's a caricature. So Chuck Jones used to say, Chuck Jones started doing caricatures on the boardwalk, and he would do profiles. So he'd look at someone from the side, and he would do profiles. So profiles are kind of easy. It's a great place to start because not too many of us know what we look from the side. So if your drawing is a little off, it'd be fine because they're not really going to know, because how many of us look in the mirror this way from the side? Hardly any of us. So we could do those also. We could do a profile, or we could do straight on. Profile's a little easier if you want to do profile. You guys want to try to do a profile caricature? How are you guys doing on the one we're working on now? You guys all done? Good job, Nathaniel. Thanks for sharing. You still working on yours, Tater? Are you guys ready to move on? All right. I see you busting up over there. We got to see it.
Here's Tater.
I've learned that I'm apparently not good at drawing people because otherwise it looks like Professor Callahan from Big Hero 6.
No, it's great. That's awesome. See, in the eyebrows, good call. That's another one that I would emphasize. Good job, brother. Good job. The eyebrows is another aspect I would have picked too. So either the cheeks or the eyebrows. No, don't knock it. It's good. If you haven't done characters before, I have a friend who does characters for Magic Mountain, and his stuff is phenomenal. It's the color. He uses color everything, and he does it in about 5 to 10 minutes. That was very good, Tater. Thanks for sharing. And don't be shy about sharing. This is a place where, don't worry about someone judging your work. We're artists. Everyone's going to judge our work at some point. But this is a place for you to be comfortable. That was very good. Thanks for sharing, Tater. Nathaniel, good job. All right, anybody else want to share? Evie, how you doing? You got something to share? Did you work? Did you do it? If you didn't do it, don't worry about it. Okay. Lillian and Heather, you guys want to share? No? Did you guys do it?
Or not
I
that.
would like to share.
All right. Let's see what you got.
This is what I did. Ignore the nose because I'm bad at drawing noses.
No. Good job. Looks better than my actual nose, I think. Good job. I like it. No, you know what I like is that you tried it. And that's half the battle. That you tried it. You didn't have to try it. You could say, "Oh, this is too hard and I don't want to do it." And then that's the art beating you. That's it. You're letting fear, the fear of not being able to do it perfect or good, win. And that's part of being an artist, is doing something that's safe. Nothing, you didn't burst into flames, nothing bad happened. And then so if you know that, you found noses challenging to draw, then you just try to focus on practicing more on noses. And that's it. Like when you ride a bike, we didn't know how to ride a bike when we were small, but then when you learn, it's part of the lesson that you'll get better. And it's just the more you do it. Well, thanks for sharing. Good job. I appreciate that. Anybody else? No? Okay. I think Evie's still working on hers. Yes, Evie? Okay. All right. So now I'm going to do a profile. Evie, you don't have to rush. Take your time. You don't have to stay with us. You do it at your pace. There's no rush. But it just seems like everybody's pretty much caught up with the caricature part. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, now here's one we could try working on, is the profile. So I'm going to sit sideways for a moment. So look, when you're drawing a person's face, generally, when you're drawing the head of a person, generally the head slopes back this way. So you're generally going to have a subtle slope here. And that's the general basic setup of it. So when you're doing your caricature portrait, not unless the guy is like somebody different, like he's got a big old jaw sticking out, for the most part. But most of the time, it's going to slope back subtly. But if they do have a big jaw and you want that to stand out, then okay, by all means, you know, take that jaw and bring it out. If that's the caricature you're looking for. But most of the time, your average person, the head will slope back this way. And a good thing to do is just take a look. And I don't know if you're familiar with blind contour drawing, but take a look and look at the edges of the face and how it moves along that path. Okay, so I'm going to turn sideways for a moment so you guys can take a look at my profile. I'm going to hold it for about 30 seconds, and I'll come back to you guys and see if you maybe hold that a little bit longer. Okay, that was 30 seconds. You guys need a little bit more time? Somebody, anybody? You guys need more time? More profile? Yay, no, maybe, I don't know. Nobody's
If
drawing.
you see a thumbs up, and yes, a little more
All right.
time.
Copy that. I apologize for smiling because this is awkward.
There's a question for you. What do you use to draw?
What I'm using right now is a Prismacolor stick. So you know those Prismacolor colored pencils? It's basically what's inside them without the pencil. So it's like a crayon, but with the Prismacolor. I like it because it's smooth, it's easy, and it flows. It doesn't snag or catch on the paper. And because it's like a crayon, you can use all sides of it. You can use the side of it, the tip of it, the edge of it. So for getting something down quick and fast, look at that Prismacolor stick. They come in all colors. I generally use black, but I suggest trying it. It's pretty neat. It's kind of like charcoal. It reminds me of charcoal, but it's not as dirty. Charcoal gets dust everywhere. I like charcoal, but I don't have to clean up as much with this. Whoever asked that question, remind me at the end of the workshop. I'll see if I can show you the box that it comes in. But I suggest get one. You know, even a Prismacolor pencil is good to try. But see, if you see the way I hold this too, once again, I hold it this way. I don't hold it like a pencil. I hold it on the side. I hold it like this. You have more control because from here, You can go to the tip of it, and you can go to the side of it. Very quickly, fast, and it's more versatile. You have more tools in this one little stick than you would just like a straight pencil. Because with the pencil, you're generally restricted just to the tip of the pencil.
That was
Chuck would use
Nathaniel asking.
Okay, thanks. Good question, Nathaniel. Chuck Jones would use a Blackwing pencil, which this is a Blackwing pencil right here. The Blackwing pencils were the original pencils that animators used to use. The company shut down, went out of business. They reopened a few years ago. Though the pencil isn't the same that it used to be as opposed to the graphite. The eraser, if you take a look, the eraser on here, it's like a rectangle. And the thing about this pencil is the eraser can be removed in case you use too much of it and you need a new one. I believe this pencil was when I was working with Chuck back in the day. I keep it around. It's like my good luck token. But this pencil, the lead is soft and very soft lead. So see, if you take a look at it, it kind of looks like this. And I'm using this, once again, I'm using the side of the pencil. Now, I would generally use the side of the pencil to rough in shapes. I apologize if I'm messing up people's profile drawing of me. If you need me to go back to profile, please let myself or Scott know.
I just want to know what those pencils are called again.
Which one? This one right here?
Yeah.
It's a Blackwing. They're back in business right now. The makeup of them is a little different than they used to be. They're still good, but when this company went out of business and Chuck heard about it, he had them buy up all the Blackwing pencils that he can find because it was the animator's pencil. Let's see if I can find them. I bought a brand new box of the Blackwings. Oh, here you go. So this right here, this is the newer Blackwings. I haven't used one yet, but these are the brand new ones. This is, like I said, they started going back into production a few years ago. Still a very good pencil.
Couple.
See, you got the new one too, and the old one.
Yeah, these are great.
I got a handful of the old ones when I used to work with Chuck and when I worked at Warner Brothers. The new ones I haven't used because it's hard to pull away from the old ones. But you know, it's one of those things that's as you slowly progress in your tools that you use, because this is just a regular pen. And I use this if I'm out. If I am out and I'm sketching, that's one workshop I'd like to have with you guys is sketchbooks. So if I'm out and I'm drawing people just standing around, maybe sitting on a bench or a chair, whatever, I have this other thing. It's a water pen. It's a brush pen. Now, I know you've seen brush pens, but this one just holds water. So if you're doing something that you want to add a little color or dynamic to a drawing, you can't go wrong with this. So we were talking about shading the other day. This will add a little bit of depth and give your drawing a little bit more value. We talked about value. And the pen that I was just drawing with, it's just a regular pen, but it's water soluble. So that way it's it'll blend with your water pen. And these you can get a 3-pack for like $5. It's one of the things. It also works great if you have brown. Here's a brush pen. These are great if you are taking your time. This is great if you want fast.
Nathaniel have a question?
Yes, Nathaniel.
It's not a question, but I would like to share a drawing of the side view.
Yes, please. See, and the good thing is that side profile, if you showed me the front profile, I'm like, that's the same guy. Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
So very nice. Anybody else have a profile, another drawing they'd like to share? Lily and Heather, you guys doing okay? I'm not putting you to sleep, am I? Okay. You got something to share? Love it. You guys rock. Good job. Awesome. Awesome. Like it. See? Good job, you guys. And now you see the style that you have yours in and the style your sister is in? We all are going to have our different styles. Thanks for sharing. It takes guts to share, because it can be a little intimidating because you're around different artists, different styles. When I was going to art school, I thought I was okay. George and Victoria, nothing to worry about. When you feel comfortable, please share. I'm not going to pressure you to, but if you feel comfortable, you're encouraged to share. But when I went to art school, I thought it was okay. I thought I wasn't bad. I was all right. And then I went to a drawing class and I was next to a girl that ended up working for Disney. And her stuff was just amazing. But we all are on our own different paths. So where you are now, I probably was there at the same age you were. This is before the classes, the studying, the constant drawing. You have the great power of drawing this guy. Is that what you said, Nathaniel? You're doing a good job. All of you are doing a good job. But remember when I asked you about sketchbooks? Keep a sketchbook because sketchbooks are important because they will help you grow. I'm not sure if you heard this quote from Chuck, but one of the instructors from Chenard Art School said, in each one of you, you have about 100,000 bad drawings. So the more of them you do, the better it is for everybody, including yourself. So that just means we just have to practice. Ben said that. Chuck said that. Chuck said that because that's what one of his instructors at Chenard, which is now Cal Arts, used to tell them. And it's true. It's very true. So good, bad, just draw. Just draw. Anybody else want to share? Evie, how's yours coming along? Oh, you're about to leave. Go do what you got to do. All right. Hey, did you do a profile? You did. Did you do a profile, Tater? No? Okay. Don't worry about it. We're good. Okay, so who would like to have, you got something to share, Kat? Hi.
So I didn't really finish it, but
I love it. I love it. I like it. You keep working on them. You keep,
thank
good
you.
job. I appreciate, see, I like the fact that people are sharing, because you know that's it's part of being an artist. I was in the art class one time, and the instructor said something that wasn't really nice, and it wasn't because the drawing was bad. It was just because he had his own opinion about, it was a watercolor. He didn't like watercolor. The drawing was fine. It was the fact that he didn't like watercolor. So you're going to have people say things to you about your drawing and this and that. Everyone's going to have an opinion. But keep drawing. Keep doing your thing. The Simpsons. This is a model pack. Property of Film Roman. When you apply to a studio to be a storyboard artist, they will send you a model pack. Remember we talked about our character turnaround? They sent me a model pack, and they sent me a CD with different various layouts and backgrounds. So Simpsons will send you this. If I went to Bob's Burgers, if I wanted to be a storyboard artist on Bob's Burgers, they'd send me something similar. But they tell you the rules and do's and don'ts about, you know, Simpson's forehead and hair, eye, lower head collar. His head, from the collar to his top of his head, on the notes say approximately 6 eyes high. So if you take his eye, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's going to be about 6 of his eyeballs. And that's the purpose of a model sheet, a model pack, is so that when all the artists are drawing, the characters look all the same. So when you have a character and you like what you're doing, this talks about his body. The other ones were talking about his head. This talks about his body. Like this one right here shows his body is similar to that of a light bulb. When you have a character that you really not like, you do this with them. Draw them in different places. Focus on that one character, because when you want to sell it, suppose you are trying to pitch it, now you got a bit of ways to go before pitching to a studio. But to help you along your way, if you show someone your portfolio, your sketchbook, and they're going to go, wow, you really thought about this character. This would be impressive. For you to do a model sheet, model pack of your character, this is Marge's hair. It's to this extreme that these are all built on, so that the characters look the same. Here's one for Bart. You got the head turn for Bart, front, 3/4, side, back view, so that you're all on the same page. Talks about Lisa, Maggie, and all of them. Here's your model sheet. So remember we're talking about model sheets? We'll probably work on character design later. But if we do character design, find a character you have. I had a couple of character designs I did. One was a turtle. And I did this for him. I did a hand-painted cell for him. He was part of a big story. And then it goes into storyboarding, which is another workshop we can do. So if you do have a character, you know, and depending on your character, if you're into anime, a lot of Japanese animation, their characters are pretty intricate, like Miyazaki, Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke. Their characters are pretty complex compared to like The Simpsons, to Western animation. Western animation, their general characters, with the exception, Teen Titan is a cross between like anime and Western. It's like both. But most of the part, they're simple. So if you are going to work on your character, I'd suggest pick one or two you like and do what I just showed you with The Simpsons and explore them. Because in later workshops, you may have a chance to do a model sheet with them, which will focus just on that character and will help you develop that character. Personality of the character, how old they are, little backstory to them. So before we go, someone mentioned Grogu, that we could do a little character of Grogu. If you guys are interested in that, we could do that before we take off. Sound good?
Thumbs up, yes.
Nice. Okay, so Grogu, let's start with basic shapes. Kind of like a circle. So Grogu, kind of like a circle. Let's start with that. You leave some space below. Okay. George and Victoria, looks like you got a nice picture of Grogu up already. Perfect. Awesome looking character. Okay, so then from here, we'll do his body. His body, we'll keep it simple. One of his most prominent features is his eyes. So give him a couple of big eyes. And if you take a look, once again, what am I using? Basic shapes. Circles, circle. This right here, the body is kind of like a cylinder. Okay, and then to keep it more simple, we'll just draw a line straight through the middle of his eyes. We're going very simple. And then lightly, we're going to make another circle, lightly, not exactly in the middle, but a little below that, lightly do another circle in both eyes. Not too dark, just lightly, just to give you a placement of it. Okay, we'll put his nose about right there. We're going to bring his mouth down. Put a little line right there for his mouth. So if right from where his bottom of his eye is, on each side, we'll pick a little mark. Then we're making another little mark right where the top of his eyes are. Now you can make his ears as big or as small as you want. So from here, you're gonna go up. Okay, now to help with placement, you don't have to draw this on your paper, but I'm gonna help you visualize it. You don't have to draw this. I'm just showing you with my drawing. With your eye, imagine a line coming across the top. You don't have to draw it, but I'm just doing it for placement for what I'm explaining. So imagine a line going across the top. That's going to be about where the top of the highest part of ear is going to come, just to help you with that level on where you place that. So from here, from this line right here, we're going to come up to the top. And to know that, okay, so that approximately his ear is going to be at the same height. It's kind of like how I explained to you where we put the bottom of his ear. We just lined it up with the bottom of his eye. And then we'll just finish the other ear. And if you notice Groku's ears, I'm glad George and Victoria's got their picture up. They're not really pointy. They're kind of rounded. So at the tip of his ears, they're not like that. They're more like that. They're a little more rounded on the tip versus that straight point. That's more like a gremlin's ear. It's softer. It's got that round little edge.
Can I show?
Oh, here's Nathaniel. And Darrell, I think we've lost your other camera too. Oh, that's awesome. That's really great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nathaniel.
Welcome.
All right, we're going to use a different computer for this. You guys still with me? I apologize again for this mishap.
Problem. We can hear you.
All right. No?
We can hear you now.
All right, thank you. Okay. Is my top camera still working?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, today's just been a wonderful day of glitches. Okay, so going back to our drawing, draw a line down here in the middle. It'll be the center of his robe. And then from here, just a little bit off the side. Now, if you want to do it easy, like I had how we matched the lines up there, run a line across here, and you could do the same on this side if you wanted to just have his arms at his side. Or if you don't want to do that, you can make him hold the little cane. Okay, so from here we'll go back to finishing his eyes. Now make a small circle lightly like we did before. Right there.
Tater raised his hand.
What do you have, Tater?
It's all pretty rough, but this is what I got so far.
Wow, you're just flying through it. Good job.
Oh,
Thank you.
Very
That's
good.
awesome.
Okay, so if you got that in, so now we can go in and we could put heavier lines in and we could darken the eyes.
Kat would also like to share.
All right, Kat, what you got?
So this is not related to what you're drawing, but there's a character I'm designing.
Okay, good. So I see you got your lines out, your guidelines, which is good. So when you're continuing to draw your character, you know where to line up your eyes, the nose, the hands. Perfect. That's the beginning of a model sheet. Good job.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's go back to the mouth. So where the edge of the nose is, lightly draw guidelines over here. And that's where our mouth is going to end. And for the most part, you can add details in if you wanted to. Put some frown lines in. And then you can add any other details you might want to add. You can even color it later if you wanted to. Anybody else have anything they want to share?
Here's Evie.
Hey, Evie.
I was just sketching out different designs with my character.
See? Good, good. And keep that, because do you guys remember Garfield the cartoon, the cat? He was real popular a while ago, but when he first started, he looked completely different than when he started. Is that the same character, Evie, with just different designs?
Yeah, I'm trying to work on the design, so I'm just sketching out different ideas.
Okay, so remember what I told you guys before? Yeah, Garfield the cat, Nathaniel, do you remember him? What I told you guys before, do one really good drawing of that character. Suppose I wanted to have a character that I just made up. Here's one of my characters I made a while ago. Simple character. Got it from watching Charlotte's. His name is from Charlotte's Web. Templeton was the name of the rat from Charlotte's Web. This guy's name is Pencilton. So suppose I wanted to do different designs of Pencilton. I would take this, make copies of it, make black and white copies of it, or color copies. Color copies, it's a little pricier, but even though it's black and white, you'll see the light grays will come out better on the color copier. And then you could do as many different color designs as you want without having to redraw your character over and over. That way it saves you time and you can focus on the design. You already got your character. Now let's change, like, who's seen Captain Marvel? You remember the scene with the little girl where she's like, well, you pick my costume colors, and she's changing it? It's just like that. You don't have to draw it over. You just color it. It's like your own coloring book that you made. All right. I apologize for the glitches, everybody. I'll try to fix that next time. Thanks for helping me out, and thanks for sticking in there, Scott.
Problem.
You guys have any questions for our next? You guys have any suggestions that you'd like to focus on for next week? Anybody want to work on anything specific? Bye, George. Bye, Victoria. Okay, if not, then we'll work on the project. I'll come hopefully with something that I think you guys may like. Hope you got something out of this workshop. But draw. Keep your sketchbook up. Thanks, Evie. You take care. Thanks, Eclipse.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, Darrell.
Thanks, Tanner. Good job, everybody. Good job.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.